speech is going to be about just trying to tell you guys that dropping out is okay, and that I actually encourage some of you to do it. And I will get to that in a little bit, but this relates to me just because I am considering doing it. But before I do it, I have to just basically plan my steps ahead. Can't just randomly do it and not know where to go. But yeah. Okay, so they tend to see dropping out as a crisis and something that's negative, but I look at it as more of a movement, something that's more positive, and that is because it basically shows students' discontent with the system in place. So that's why I think it's positive. And whether students are unhappy with the course or teaching format, I will demonstrate that there are realistic alternatives and many reasons as to why a person should drop out. Alright, so this is your college life, basically. You guys wanted to go for eat your soups, having like enough money to maybe buy a snack bar, guessing on the Scantron test. That's basically it, just a bunch of stress. And a couple of reasons to be upset, and that is that your government, our government, California government, they basically make prisons a priority. They rather, okay, so according to safeandjust.org, since 1981, California has built over 20 prisons and just one UC school. And according to healthhappensthere.com, California basically spends over $62,000 per inmate just to keep them there every year. Yet they can't provide cheaper or a free education for us. So they basically have made keeping people in prisons a priority and not offering other alternatives, such as maybe mental hospitals, counselors, things like that. Alright, so this is Cal State LA. And so, yeah, Cal State LA students pay roughly $2,100 per quarter for 10 weeks of education. This equals to about 20 classes of 1.5 hours each. That's 30 hours of instruction per class. And if you subtract test days, holidays, and presentations, you're left with about 24 hours of actual instruction. So that means most of you are paying $2,100 for 3 to 4 days of school, which is ridiculous. Like it's depressing. And to some of you, it might be like whatever, but that's because you're getting FAFSA. So that makes it a lot easier when you're getting FAFSA. It's amazing. It's just whatever. I don't care. But then, if you don't qualify anymore, even though your parents were unemployed and bankrupt the entire year, and you don't qualify, and then you still go to talk to the financial advisor, and the advisor they have there didn't even go to college, so he's freaking useless. He doesn't know the shoes I'm in or anything. It's just not worth it. It's not good education. Alright, so some alternatives. Just everything that you get taught in school is online. So why pay $2,100 for that? Work and try to save your money, because most of you are still dependent around your parents or live with your parents when you're young, it's the easiest time to save your money. Later, once you move out, you have bills to pay. It's going to be very difficult to save at least $100. And yeah, just look for what makes you happy, not what makes others happy. So a lot of people are in college, not because they want to, but they think they'll disappoint their parents, things like that. Alright, so education is biased and factually incorrect. We all grow up thinking that Columbus gathered the Indians and like they had this happy dinner when they actually slaughtered them. Our history books show us as heroes, but if we had the history book of another foreign nation, think about how they would depict us, probably as the villains, because that's who we are. And at the end of this journey, you make it through, you're going to get a piece of paper with your name on it, with a couple signatures you never even met. So yeah. And then all of that, you have no job or job that degree was supposed to get you. So now you have a bunch of debt, and you find out that you can't get a job with a bachelor's. You gotta go back to school and maybe get a master's because, well, nobody's gonna hire you. A bachelor's is nothing. So that means you have to take out more loans, which just adds to your debt. And maybe, okay, you graduate, you're 30, you got your master's, which is just like the bachelor's, but it says master's on it. And I hope that makes you happy, I guess. There's a bunch of papers at the library who wants them. Like right now there's a lot of older guys in my economics class who are there because they can't find a job. They'll have their bachelor's, but they want their master's, and I'm sitting there. I'm not going to be one of them because they're like 40 and it's just depressing. Yeah, I got their gray hair. Alright, so conclusion. So I rambled or spoke about how there's some realistic alternatives to this, and because like you can't drop out and expect to invent the new social network or Oprah or something like that. It's not realistic. Anyways, they're sellouts, money changed them. I'm sure they invest a lot in charities, but I'm also sure that they give 10 times that amount to political campaigns. So, alright, so how will you be remembered? By a piece of paper that symbolizes the death of your person and your acceptance into the blender-like system, or as a standout who found happiness by leaving the line of ants he once marched.